Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Some wise words once heard from Albert Einstein. Despite being amongst the most privileged people on the planet, we're experiencing challenges that are having a profound and negative impact on the well-being of our people. Don't you think that maybe we should consider doing things differently? A lot of people think that we need a hero. In fact, we might need a whole lot of heroes. Well, I'm here today to tell you about how after starting the Kensington Good Karma Network 3 years ago, I realised that those heroes are already here. I grew up in Wellington, New Zealand, and due to being a pretty outgoing person with lots of interests, I've done a lot of things over the years. By the age of 30, I'd obtained a sports science and psychology degree and been a fitness instructor, a student politician, a representative rugby player, a zookeeper, an ESOL teacher, an international tour guide, a sales consultant, a stepmom, a business owner, and a house owner. And then at 31, I thought that I'd decide to follow my childhood dream of becoming a vet and try to get into vet school. I was successful on my first attempt, and after 5 years at vet school in Palmerston North in New Zealand, I moved to Australia to start my career. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, I launched into my perfect graduate job with positivity and a bright future ahead of me, so I thought. Less than a year later, I was a depressed and anxious mess. I was smoking cigarettes before work and I was drinking a bottle of wine most nights when I came home. One day while I was sitting there trying to figure it all out and trying to decide on how I was going to get through, it occurred to me that if these challenges that were so big in my life were taking such a toll on me, with all the fantastic opportunities and resources that I had available to me, then there had to be a whole lot of other people out there struggling too. Not sure about how they got themselves there, and like me, not sure about how to get themselves out. So it was then that I decided that I wanted to try and make a positive difference. I wanted to try and help people live better lives, even if it was just a little bit. But how was I going to do that? You know, looking around, it seems that everything's stacked against us. The media delivers us negative message after negative message. The banks can't be trusted with our life savings. Technology's taking our jobs, and workplace bullying is a common occurrence. How was I going to make a difference? Little old me, living by myself in Australia, in Melbourne, having moved there with no support structure, everybody was still in New Zealand, struggling in my new career. How was I going to make a difference and change things for the better? Well, it could have been easy for me to have thought, it's just too hard. How can I make a difference? But instead, I decided to ask myself, what can I do with what I have to make things better? So I had a look around, and I had a saw, an esky, and some camping gear to lend. I had some animal health knowledge to help people who were worried about their animals. And I had lots of life experience to share from the previous job roles that I'd held. I also had a mouth for smiling, ears for listening, and unlimited hugs to offer. None of these things cost me anything to give away. Now I just had to figure out how I was going to connect with people and find out what they needed so I could help them out and try and make their life a little bit easier. In April of 2016, I started the Kensington Good Karma Network with a clear purpose. It was a Facebook group where we were going to be able to ask for help from our neighbours. I wanted people to share their knowledge, skills, experience and resources to help with finding solutions to each other's challenges. In doing this, I brought a little bit of light into my life. And at the same time, we began shining a little bit of light into other people's lives as well. Now, I had decided to do things differently on social media. For the Kensington Good Karma Network to be a positive and safe place to ask for help, it needed to be free of judgment and negativity. So I started with the guidelines: no selling, no advertising, no negativity, and anything that was offered was to be done so with no expectation of anything in return. With people asking for help and finding solutions to all sorts of problems, the Kensington Good Karma Network grew. With positive interactions due to the guidelines that didn't allow negativity, the Kensington Good Karma Network grew. With connection, compassion, and collaboration, the Kensington Good Karma Network grew. And now, 3 years later, there are over 7,500 people doing amazing things for each other every day. We're led to believe that heroes are special, in some way different from us. We love to love the fictional heroes like Wonder Woman or Batman when they save the world, or Gotham City. And of course, we've admired the real-life heroes like Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, and Mother Teresa, those that have changed the world for the better. But the real heroes in our lives are the people that are there for us when our chips are down. Somebody that picked you up from the airport when you were stranded. That person that stopped on the side of the road when your car broke down in the pouring rain. Or somebody that invited you around when you just really needed to be with some people. Those that are there for us when we can't see straight for the streaming tears. We can't think properly because of the crippling anxiety. Or we can't move because of the pain of loss or injury. The Kensington Good Karma Network allowed people to see that they could make a difference with whatever they had to offer. It shared the stories of many everyday heroes who were changing each other's lives for the better. And it inspired people in my community to realize that they too could be a hero by, number one, asking for help, and number two, helping out when other people needed them. The stories of these everyday heroes, there are so many of them, include obviously people who have been helped when their pets have been lost and they've been particularly distressed. We've had people rescued when their pipes have sprung a leak. One of our members posted that she couldn't get out of bed because she was too sick one day, and she was wondering if somebody could go to the supermarket and get her some soup. Instead, she got a whole lot of homemade soup delivered to her door. Last year, we had one of our members post that her tears just wouldn't stop flowing and she really needed some support. Of course, in response, she received a whole lot of positive messages and comments. She had people offering to come around and help her out and hang out with her. And she also had baking delivered to her house for weeks on end. Early in 2017, one of our members was losing her father to cancer. And during this particularly difficult time, she decided to register to run Kensington's biggest morning tea to raise money for cancer research. So she posted on the network, "Hey guys, I'm running Kensington's biggest morning tea and I'm holding a bake sale in the park. Would anybody like to help me?" A few people said that they would, and then there were a few more. Then there was a committee of 10 people and the Kensington Town Hall was donated for the event. Local businesses jumped on board and donated for a silent auction. And with face painters, musicians, and baking from all around the neighbourhood, over 350 people walked through the door that morning and more than $6,500 was raised. It really was the biggest morning tea that Kensington had ever seen. Until the next year, when the biggest morning tea in Kensington raised over $9,500 for cancer research. People have asked for help and started initiatives in our neighbourhood, like the Kensington Backyard Sessions, which brings local musicians into local backyards to raise money for local charities. We've got the Kensington Makers, which is a group of local creatives who get together to share skills. We've got a local babysitting co-op and a local community compost initiative that has 15 compost bins around the neighbourhood that are managed by neighbours so that we can all take our compost to a compost bin. And then, of course, there's a Kensington Mental Health Support Group, which was also started by our Good Karma Network. These initiatives were all started by people who just wanted to make a difference. And the actions of these heroes have started a movement. At the beginning of 2017, I had people from around the country contact me and say they'd heard about all the amazing things that were happening in Kensington, and they were wondering how they could start one of their own Good Karma networks in their own suburb. Now, 2 years later, there are 45 Good Karma networks across 5 states of Australia, with a combined total of over 51,000 members. Every day, there are thousands of people asking for help on Good Karma networks and giving other people the opportunity to make a difference with whatever they have to offer. The Good Karma networks share the heroic acts of people asking for help and show others that they too can be a hero by responding to those requests for help. Watching the interactions on Good Karma networks, it's obvious that there are heroes everywhere. They're you and me. People that show strength to ask for help and others who respond to those requests for help. We're all everyday heroes with superpowers that have been gifted to us by the lives that we've led and the experiences that have made us who we are. Those superpowers are the knowledge, skills, experience, and resources that we've each collected on our unique journey on this planet. So now you're probably wondering, how can I realize my superpowers and make a difference? Well, it doesn't have to be anything big. Maybe just reach out and ask for help. Or you could do what I did and ask yourself, what can I do with what I have to make things better? And then try something. You never know what might happen. Thank you.